Hello everybody, this is Godzilla here, and today I will be reviewing a figure that I got for my birthday, and that would be this year's Godzilla Store exclusive, the Bandai Movie Monster Series Varan. So, who exactly is Varan? Well, he's a lizard-like kaiju who is a cross between Godzilla and the Kappa, which is a mythical creature from Japanese folklore, but has the ability to glide, so some people call him the Flying Squirrel Monster. He debuted in his own movie in 1958, which the Americans would later rename Varan the Unbelievable, and then he made some small blinking or missing cameos in Destroy All Monsters. He was supposed to have a big part to play in assisting Rodan to take on King Ghidorah during the Battle of Mount Fuji when the three-headed alien space dragon took flight, but the Varan suit had sadly by this point badly deteriorated, and Toho didn't have the time, money or budget to make a brand new suit, and so they could only use the small flying prop of him. There were many films that were planned to feature Varan, but never saw the light of day, such as the original draft for Destroy All Monsters, which was going to be called All Monsters Attack Directive, for Return of King Ghidorah, which later became Godzilla vs. Gigan, my personal favourite Godzilla movie of the Showa series, aside from the original 54. One time he was going to be the antagonist at the end of the Heisei period for Godzilla vs. Giant Monster Varan, which of course became Godzilla vs. Destroyer, and then he was going to be a guardian for GMK in 2001, but got axed in favour of Ghidorah. However, he has at least had more luck in other forms of media, such as video games, comic books, novels, fan-made kaiju animations on YouTube, etc. and so on. So, figure itself. For years, many Godzilla collectors, myself included, have yearned for a decent Varan figure, but they've either been oversized and too large for our collections, model kits, or cartoony with inaccurate looks to them, and the only Varan figure that was ideal enough to go alongside 6-inch figures was the YMSF model, which is very hard to come by, and when it does turn up on eBay, it costs a lot of money, and only the lucky would be able to afford it. My friend Slurfan85 owns one. However, Bandai did make one figure of Varan, and that was of course the high-grade / Gashapon model, which does have its charm, but as soon as you get the miniature of a character, you naturally want a larger figure to go alongside it. Well, this year, in 2022, while Giga was celebrating its 50th anniversary, Bandai held another poll at the Godzilla Store so that fans and collectors could vote once again on which kaiju they would like to see in the Movie Monster Series line, and this year Varan was the winner, and so after all these years, we finally have the Bandai Varan figure of our dreams, and it's based on how he appeared in Destroy All Monsters. Or is it? According to the Wikizilla page that talks about the merchandise, the poll originally said that it was based on the 1968 version, but the tag and model itself depicts him as he originally appeared in 1958, 5 years after the original 1954 Gojira. Bandai have done a lot of research on Varan, where the YMSF figure looks like it was made by memory. You'll have the spikes sculpted at both sides of the head. His mouth is open, and I do like the tongue and all those teeth in there. The body captures the bumpiness of the scalish patterns, and although tucked in, you can see the wind membranes, and when I place his front arms out and hold him like this, you really get the sense that this monster can fly. The comment that I'm about to make now doesn't apply to the character himself, but the model only. It may be due to the pose, but this figure actually does remind me of the Great Sphinx on the Giza Plateau in Egypt. So, if the ancient Egyptians got kaiju to guard the pyramids and various tombs of the pharaohs, then perhaps all those grave robbings could have been prevented. Varan wouldn't be complete if we didn't talk about his spines. Although I think they're a bit too small if this figure is meant to be the 1958 original, and 68s were pretty crooked, but it's not really that bothersome to me. It might be to some other folks. However, I can live with this. He's mostly a light tan brown colour, and the spines are ivory. However, they start off like that at the forehead and stop halfway at the tail, but it's not as bad as his GSP imposter, Godzilla Amphibia, or even Godzilla Terrestrius, Gorosaurus' imposter, or not Gorosaurus as I call him. Now size comparisons. Varan is said to be one of the smallest kaiju in the Godzilla franchise. However, this figure is the biggest, and when comparing him to some other monsters, I did actually think, my goodness, he's huge. That's funny because I've never had that thought with previous kaiju figures. Not even the really big ones such as King Ghidorah, Destroyer, or even Godzilla himself, depending on the incarnation. But Varan is the first one that's made me think, good grief, he's pretty large. Anyway, the links to the reviews of Gorosaurus, last year's winner, Gigan, and NES Godzilla / 8-bit Goji are in the description below, as well as the Gashapon figure of Varan. So, what are my final thoughts on the Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla Store exclusive Varan? To be truthful, I don't really care if he's oversized. I also don't care if his spines are too small. I don't care if his colour scheme is bland, and I especially do not care if this is meant to be the original 1958 or even 68 from Destroy All Monsters. In my opinion, this is without doubt one of the best models that Bandai has made so far, and he's up there with Gorosaurus, Gigan, and various Godzilla figures or any other good looking kaiju model. He's also the best Varan figure to date, along with the Gashapon model, and even though I don't have it, I do actually prefer the Bandai Movie Monster Series Varan over the YMSF Varan. Bandai's was researched, and YMSF was done by memory. And I could see more obscure kaiju like Varan come our way for the foreseeable future. And I really do hope that Varan will return to the big screen once again someday, because this monster is truly unbelievable. This is Dragonzilla signing out, take care, and in case you don't hear from me until next year, I would like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'll see you all next time, bye for now.